Hello, my name's Bear Jowett, and I watch director streaming films, so you don't have to. This is a topic that I've wanted to talk about for ages because I'm kind of passionate about these director streaming films. I've actually never seen anyone else talk about this topic, and of course there's always going to be bad films in media no matter what, but I feel like it's more than ever with production companies pumping out these films to make quick money. Anyways, I want to just say before everything, right, that this is actually strictly opinions based.
It's opinions based.
Right, this is very much my opinions, and if you think otherwise, please let me know, because this video is basically just a massive tangent about me talking about this because no one else has really talked about it, and I want to put my opinion out there. They get given a ridiculous amount of budget, right, and great actors, or very well known at least, just for it to be absolutely terrible or just completely flop. But there is some hidden gems like She Rides Shotgun. Me and my dad watched it and we were pleasantly surprised, I'm not gonna lie, it was really quite good. I really think that if you're gonna wanna watch this, you should. It was honestly a really good film, and if you don't want any spoilers, skip to this timestamp. So to kind of summarize what happened, Nate's the main character, played by Taron Egerton. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he's the guy from Kingsman. He's really good, I'm not gonna lie. I really liked him in Kingsman. He's in other massive films as well. He's a pretty good actor. He's very well known, fair play to him. Nate basically kidnaps Polly, his daughter, and the news reveals that he's the suspect in Polly's parents' murder. But Nate is innocent, and the person who killed his daughter is now after the rest of his family. After a lot of dangerous encounters, the detective decides to recruit Nate to expose this gang of Nazi bad cops, basically the best bad guys ever, because who doesn't hate Nazis? Nate is then captured and the police raid the site. Polly then frees Nate. Then he sacrifices himself for the greater good, right, and then gets shot because they're trying to kill the bad guy. And to be honest, in my opinion, I actually really liked how they killed him in the end, because it actually gave it some stakes and it was actually really good. Usually what you would expect from these straight to streaming films is that the good guys always get their way and there's nothing that really happens, then there's no stakes because no one ever dies. But this one was actually really good. It was a breath of fresh air compared to the rest of the films nowadays, just because it actually had repercussion. Made it more real in my opinion. The story really kept you on the edge of your seat, and I really can respect that because you didn't know actually what was going to happen next, which tends to not be the case with most of these films. It was really gripping, cinematography was great, good acting, everything was really good. I liked the set design. It was simple but effective. It was very basic, just desert and camper van sort of thing, but it was basic, but that's good in my opinion. If it's basic, at least they're trying something and they know what works, and that definitely worked with this. Would I rewatch it? Probably not, but was it still good? Yes. Would I recommend it to you? Absolutely. Now, it's not a Bear Jowett video without some negativity. So many director streaming films are an absolute flop, and here's a list of a few I've seen. Elevation, Playdate, Osiris, Play Dirty, and Heads of State. They are just so predictable, and the plots are so they're really, really cliche, to the max. You can always guess what's happening, and it's just so... It's so cringe. I know I always use that word, but it's just cringy as hell. For example, Osiris? It's probably Osiris. It's literally just a worse version of Alien. I get why some people would like it. It's got guns, aliens. It was just so boring and predictable, and it was literally like Alien, but so much worse. The film I wanted to talk about though really is Shadow Force. It's the most recent one I've seen, and it's terrible. The casting was pretty good, and the VFX was alright. That is the only good thing I will say about this film, because it's so bad, the rest of it. And here's a quick summary of what happens. The main characters are this couple, and they're both ex-CIA, and they go underground to escape this evil bad guy Cinder with their new son Kai. There's a bank robbery that happens, and then he gets exposed because he was, protecting his son, right? They hide in Colombia for some reason, and they find him. And then they get betrayed by their aunt and uncle. And then a big fight scene happens, and the bad guy gets killed, happily ever after. 6 months later, the mum's pregnant, and they're gonna have a new son. Actually, so boring. Oh my god, this story was so predictable and so boring. I'm not even gonna lie, nothing good happened. First off, right, the main guy wears hearing aids, right? The main guy wears hearing aids. So they just don't explain how he can do these superhero esque things, but they don't explain it at all. They never tell you how he can do that. So you just have to pretend that, and he was the Daredevil, but if he takes out his hearing aids, wow, he gets superpowers now. How does he do that? Because in the bank thing, he he was killing like 10 people with guns, and I'm just like with his bare fist, and that does not make sense. That would not happen. He's not a superhero. He's not meant to be a superhero. So that whole ass time that you think, oh right, it's gonna reveal that something happened, like that he's got superpowers. No, they don't. They never reveal that he has superpowers, and that's just what he is. He's just this guy that has superpowers, and we don't know how he's got these powers. And he's like the Daredevil of this universe. And they even say that he's like the Daredevil. They mention he's like Daredevil, but they never explain how he's like Daredevil. It doesn't make sense because Daredevil actually has powers. He doesn't have powers. He's just a guy. He's just a normal guy with powers, right? Whew. The aunt and uncle, they've been together for 20 years, right? They are together, lovey-dovey couple of a lifetime. 20 years together, crazy, right? And then all of a sudden, the husband, the uncle, just betrays the auntie. And guess what? Auntie does not even give a fuck. She's just there, and she's like, okay, fine, I'm going to break up. I'm going to find a new man now. And it doesn't make sense at all because they were together 20 years, and then the second that man betrays her, she does not care at all. 20 years! And no, I don't care actually. No, it's fine. I'll just find a new man. Like, girl, no. What? Yeah, she doesn't even seem like depressed about it. Just so many things in this film just make zero sense at all. It was so bad. So yeah, after sitting through these films, the real issue isn't the actors or the director, it's the studios pushing through this rubbish. They're so focused on cranking out quick, fast films that they don't actually care if the content's actually good. You can feel when something was made with passion, and you can feel when something was made just to crank out some slop and then just to add it to a streaming catalogue. Streaming has just basically become a content conveyor belt, and the few films that actually do try ending up actually being quite good compared to everything else that's just literally the exact same predictable cliche. But don't worry, I'll keep digging through the rubbish so you don't have to. Thanks for letting me ramble. Bye! Become a content creator. What the fuck just happened?